got a brand new Jeep.
When we bought the house, this was a woodworking shop. It had a really small door right here.
Okay.
And it was all just studs. There was nothing in here but a bunch of junk and some work tables that were made out of like really thin plywood.
Yeah.
So Bert had just started working for Travel Channel. He'd barely been working for Travel Channel, maybe not even a year. And they had a show called Man Caves on the DIY network. And so they did a swap.
So that's how he met Josh Temple, maybe.
He met Josh not from that show.
Okay. So when
he met Josh, how did he meet
auditions or something?
Josh?
How did I meet Josh?
No, how did he meet? I don't remember how he met Josh.
I didn't even know he knew Josh until Josh said, "Hey, so and so."
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, you guys know each other?
Yeah, he's such a nice person, Josh.
Okay.
I think Josh came and did a podcast. I think that's actually how Bert met him.
He's got a great voice.
He does.
Yeah.
Did you see the early audition that
The
he did
early
with Josh?
audition we
I did.
That's like one of my favorite ones.
There's one when we did it, and I said, if you laugh, I'm going to be mad at you because I'm kissing you full on.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm cool. And we kissed, and he like spit all over my
Oh
face.
my God.
It was like spit
I
take.
was so mad.
You were?
Yeah.
It was
not
so
that mad.
funny.
It was funny. But we did it again. I'm like, But yeah, I met Josh on a commercial for Cooper Tires back in like 2001.
And you just stayed in touch? Just stayed friends?
Yeah. We just had a lot in common and both like to.
Happily married?
I don't know if he was married then.
No?
That was in 01 or 2. I don't know when that was. It was a while ago. Yeah.
Well, he's happily married now.
Yeah. And his daughter's name is Ruby, I think. His daughter's Ruby.
Oh, yeah? I don't know.
She must be like 14 or 15 now.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Time flies.
It does.
That's
I was
crazy.
just going to say she's like 8.
Yeah, right.
I can't believe my kid's 15. I can't believe it. My oldest
Do
kid.
they still love you? Your kids?
Most days.
I'll
Some
tell you
days,
what.
no.
I see it between you and Ava. You guys are starting
beginning.
this.
What do you mean?
Just, it's like, you hear about how the father's always the good guy, right?
Right.
Father's always the good guy?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. At my house,
teenage
absolutely.
girls.
Yeah, and
Bert
it's like the
refuses to
whole-
be the bad guy.
Ava spilled glue on the iPad.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
and then I'm watching
Under
this.
the iPad. It
There's
got
a
inside
text
the
chain.
case.
Are we far enough apart? There's a text chain going back and forth with the three of us, and I'm staying out of it. It's just like, who did this? What happened? And I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
Well, wait, why were you texting about it? Why weren't you just talking about it?
I was at work. She was at school. Actually, I wasn't texting her, and he was at home. And I was at work, and I opened up I saw the back of the iPad case had some kind of like weird white stain thing on it. So I took the iPad out, and it was like kind of wet inside.
Yeah.
And it was the next morning. So the night before she had been using it, and there was this weird chemical looking stain and then a wet kind of spot. But luckily, it didn't get into the camera lens or the microphone, but it was on the back instead of the front. So I was able to clean it up and stuff. But I smelled it, and it smelled like glue. So I texted. I was just like, what happened to the iPad?
Yeah.
What did she say?
But I did say, that's it. That's the last straw. Like, they're not going to get to use my iPad anymore. She said, I didn't mean to. I cleaned it up. I didn't want to get in trouble. And I'm like, well, I know you didn't mean to.
And who wants to get in trouble? I mean, let's be honest. But yes, you're lucky it didn't dry and glued to the case.
Yeah.
That would have been bad. You'd been
I broke
stuck
the
with
old
that.
iPad.
You did?
Yeah, I punched it.
Punched it?
No, he slammed it down
I
on the
slammed it
desk.
down, and
Why did you do that?
because I said off the iPad, she wasn't. It was Ashley. She wasn't listening. Finally, I took it, slammed it down, and I know I just punched that corner, and I didn't think I'd break it, and it just kind of cracked a little. But
No,
it was
didn't
old.
Crack. It wasn't cracked at all. But
Okay, it wasn't
along the side, it showed like a rainbow thing along the side that looked like
It's weird, isn't it? How
the
what your
Biofrost
kids can
from
do to you
Thor.
sometimes.
Yeah.
How they can just. It's almost. And it's best to just walk away from it.
Yeah.
But it's so hard.
Yeah. I agree. It's best to just walk away from it. I have that with Isla. I don't have that with Georgia. Georgia is like Bert internally. So for whatever reason, I understand her workings. Isla is exactly like me internally, with like being the stubbornness and the willfulness and the my way-ness of Isla. Well, if I'm that also,
Yeah.
and we have opposing views as to whether or not you should be using the iPad, it's very, it escalates very quickly, where I'm like, put the iPad down. I need one more minute. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I said, put the iPad down. I said 1 more minute. And I'm like, nope, I'm done. And now I'm already here at this level.
Mhm.
And she's just, and I don't do that with Georgia
Yeah.
because Georgia will just put the iPad down for
what,
one.
What was our iPad as kids? What was our version
Atari?
of addiction? You
I think
know?
mine was a turtle in the yard, maybe
Right.
a tree. I don't know. I didn't have an iPad.
BB guns. I don't
Or
know.
BB guns. I had
not
BB
really.
guns.
I mean, we're away from the house. We're in the woods shooting.
Yeah. I had a
birds and
go-kart.
stuff. Yeah, we had our
The
neighbor
only,
had a motorcycle.
the only thing I remember my parents telling me to stop doing is stop fighting with your brother until we got in trouble. But I never remember getting in trouble for like doing this or that or the other thing like they do with the iPad and the TV and
Yeah,
all that stuff.
I got in trouble for not doing stuff, like for not doing my chores,
yeah.
but doing something else instead.
I was bad at chores. My brother and my dad, they can fix anything, car, whatever. But we'd rake leaves, and I would just literally sit in the leaves and watch them.
That was not your game.
Yeah, I hated it. I hated raking leaves because you're never going to get them all.
No, it's
They're just- they're
impossible.
leaves.
I hated
Yeah.
raking leaves too. My grandmother had 3 enormous oak trees. They were probably 200 years old when I was a kid. They were so big.
Yeah.
And man, this time of year, the yard would be like
forget it.
calf deep in big old oak leaves. You'd
Yeah.
spend days and days breaking those leaves, and we'd burn them.
Yeah, we'd burn them too.
You just burn the leaves.
Yeah, we burn.
Did you imagine in Southern California?
Yeah, right. We're burning leaves.
It's burning leaves in the
Yeah.
backyard. What?
Yeah, I like that smell.
I remember my dad
too.
raking them all by the picnic table, and we would jump off the picnic table into the big pile of leaves.
But it still hurts, right?
I don't remember it hurting.
It does. You're on the illusion this is some kind of like poofy cloud or something.
It's
no,
like
it's
Charlie
painful.
Brown.
You're pretty much hitting the ground.
Right.
Yeah.
The crunch.
No wonder I had like
crunch.
asthma attacks all the time. I was in a pile of leaves that I'm allergic to.
My grandfather owned a sawmill. So, you know, that where they go get like pine trees and then turn them into planks, right? So the planer, I guess, had this big tube, way huge tube that came out of the roof of the building and just went across the yard and dumped sawdust into this huge mountain. So my cousins and I used to climb up to the top of that and then jump into it. It was like jumping into you know, 20 feet of snow. So you could jump in and like, you know, sink into your waist
Wow.
and then get out. And as an adult, I found out, you know what lives in those sawdust
Ooh.
piles? Snakes.
Oh, yeah.
Snakes hibernate in them.
Oh,
my
geez.
God.
We were like, I'm sure swimming with snakes and sawdust for our
Yeah.
whole childhood. I had no idea. We never saw one.
Well,
You're
they were at the bottom.
you're from
Georgia.
yeah, I knew that.
Yeah, I'm from
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
rural.
Couldn't tell with your accent.
Sure,
Thought you were
I
from,
know,
like,
right?
New York.
I sound like a Yankee.
Yeah.
Well, some fans have emailed me over the months and said they would like for me to say who is on my couch instead of just in my intro. Because I guess when you subscribe to a podcast, it sometimes skips that intro and it just goes, or somehow however they're watching goes straight to what we're talking, us talking. So this is Tonya and Scott Pete. They are married. And we're going to talk about
You leave me hanging.
I know, right?
Oh,
Totally. We're going to talk about cancer, but I want to talk about
Yeah.
you later. I mean, we're going to talk about cancer now. I want to talk about you. No, we're going to talk about
Whatever.
cancer
I'm
later.
just
We're
here
going to talk
to
about you
hang
now.
out.
How long have you been together?
January of 2000, we met.
We met. Yeah.
So 19 years.
Mhm.
How'd you
Married
meet?
18.
She was a
Oh,
dancer.
He always says that. I
Yeah.
was like, okay, just let him say the story, and then I'll tell you the real
so
one.
Stupid.
That's my life, exactly. Let him tell you the story, then I'll tell you the real one.
I mean, you tell the story. You talk better than me.
Oh.
You're a better talker.
Well, I mean, it's pretty simple. Through a friend that I
Uh-huh.
worked with on one of the soap operas that I worked on. He was the script typist, and the show had been canceled, and so we were both kind of out of work. And I was out with my roommate and her sister, or maybe her friend, a couple friends or something, and ran into this friend. And he's like, "Oh, hey, I'm going to my friend. They're having a party at their house. Do you guys want to come?" And I was like, "Oh, why not? You know, we're not working," kind of thing. And so we thought we were going, me and my little group of girlfriends, to this party, and it ended up just being Scott and his friend sitting in their apartment. So
Oh, my God.
yeah.
yeah.
We were just, my roommate and I were at a party. We just stole from that party a bottle of bourbon and we just,
And left.
and left. Because they were the people hosting the party were complete assholes. So we're like, we're stealing your shit. So we
And
did.
we're having our own party.
Yeah. So it was just Dave and I, and then these ladies showed up, and yeah.
Yeah, so we all sat down, and I ended up sitting next to Scott, and we were talking a little bit, and he was wearing this like disco ball funny shirt. And at some point I was like, okay, I'm going to go get something to drink. So I got up and I went in the kitchen, and there on the counter, there were these cookies. They were the peanut butter ones with the Hershey Kiss in the middle, you know? And I saw them and I was like, oh, hey. And I picked it up and I'm like, hey, whose are these? And Scott said, oh, they're mine. My grandma sent them to me. And I'm like, my grandma used to make them for me. And so I sat back down and we started talking and found out, you know, that I was born in Michigan and he lived in Michigan but was from Indiana. And I said, oh, my brother lives in Indiana. So that kind of got the ball rolling as far as getting to know each other. And then I was looking for work, and I think, was it Mike Daly or something? Someone
I totally, yeah.
he said, oh, I have a friend maybe that can get you a job.
But he couldn't get her a job.
Couldn't get her a job. He was just
couldn't.
lying.
Yeah, just like, yeah.
That was your line. Oh, I can totally hook you up with
Totally
a
a
job.
line.
Right.
And is that when she started dancing? Just kidding.
Yes, it is.
Just
Remember?
kidding.
Yeah.
So, and then, we went out not too long after that and spent the day, you know,
Rollerblading.
rollerblading.
No way. In LA? No one rollerblades in
Monica,
LA.
I know, right?
We were at
Where
the
did you
beach.
do that?
We went to
Santa Monica.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, that trail thing.
Yeah.
Oh, my
Down.
goodness.
Like,
Luckily, neither of us broke an arm or anything like that.
I was a good rollerblader, man.
you were? I bet.
That was awesome, man.
I'd say impressive. I bet you were impressive.
I was
No?
impressed. Yeah, I would do 360s and jump off stuff, and
You would not.
I
Would you
too.
really?
Oh yeah.
No way.
Way.
It's funny. And then
Yes.
we went back and had lunch and tried to play Trivial Pursuit, but neither of us knew any of the answers to any of the questions.
Match
So
made in
we felt like
heaven.
big
Yeah.
idiots.
I think it was like a 1970s version. So it was an older
Yeah, it was
version.
hard.
It was tough. Yeah.
That's
But
a
yeah.
cute date.
It was fun. It was like a all day date too. It was neat.
hmm
Mhm.
That's really cool. And it just went from there.
Yeah.
And your oldest daughter is
12.
Almost 13.
almost
12.
13.
almost 13. So
Yeah.
she's in 7th grade?
Yep.
Is she?
Yeah.
She's at the same school as Isla, right?
Yes.
Are they at the same school? Yeah.
Yes.
I thought
yeah.
so. Yeah.
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 That's right. I've seen you
Yeah,
at
I see
pickup.
you at the pickup.
That's right. And then you have 2 more, and they are how old?
A 9 and 4, almost 5.
9 and 4.
Yeah, geez.
Almost 5.
Those two are
Yeah,
getting
she's
along
like
really
4
well
going
now.
on 14.
The
though.
4 and 9-year-old. I think
Yeah.
they're getting along really well.
Yeah,
But the
yeah.
9 and 13 are no.
Yeah, it's been rough.
Why?
Oh, they're just fighting a lot.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
about anything
Yeah.
specific?
It's at that point where the 9-year-old will get all excited and run upstairs to tell her sister something, and the 13-year-old almost just gets annoyed just looking at her sister. Like, you
Well,
know,
it's like
she'll-
because she's running upstairs to show her that, hey, I found 3 blue M&Ms.
Right.
whatever.
And she's 12 and she's like,
So
Yeah.
you know, it's like she should be reporting the blue M&Ms to Annabelle or us. You know,
Who would be thrilled.
We'd, you know,
Right?
Yeah.
it's
pretend to be
interesting
thrilled.
dynamic though, because I feel like when Ashley was littler, Ava would want to have Ashley's attention, but Ashley didn't want to give Ava her attention. And now it's the reverse. Like Ashley wants
Interesting.
Ava's attention, and Ava doesn't want to give Ashley the attention. So
Yeah.
it's
How
I've
interesting.
seen kind of a reversal. with
That's
that.
interesting.
Mhm.
It's always fascinating. I'm an only child.
Yeah.
I have
Well,
siblings, so
And we've talked to adults that they always say, oh, we fought like that too. And my sister and I
Yeah.
are now best friends.
I've
like,
heard that
okay,
from
good.
so many people, but I don't have any siblings, so I don't
Sure.
have any perspective. But
Yeah.
the dynamic in my house has always been the same. Georgia's always wanted Isla's attention, and Isla's always been like, "Why? I don't
Mhm.
understand. Why do you need me? I mean, I don't really need anybody. I'm an air fern, kind of like her mother." So and Georgia's always been like, you know, because she wants that. She's like Bert. She wants that connection and that relationship. And Isla is so independent. She just doesn't need that same thing from Georgia. And it makes Georgia feel bad and frustrated. And I spend a lot of time trying to get Isla to accept the reach from Georgia or to reach to Georgia, one of the two, to kind of to connect. You have to figure out a way that they can connect because they're totally different human beings. They're wired completely differently. And it's really challenging because I don't want to deny either one of them who they are. You know, it's not fair to make Isla be someone she's not, but it is also not fair for her not to recognize that her sister has a need and try to do something to fulfill that need at least sometime, you know, to find that kind of half and half
Right.
thing. And I haven't found it. I haven't been able to conquer that one with Isla. And Georgia is a lot easier. Georgia's a lot more compassionate. Isla is, I don't know that Isla's super compassionate. She is, but on her terms. Like if there's a place where you go, you know, you could look at this a little differently. she'd go, yeah, I don't see it that way. And I'm like,
Oh, I tell Ava
okay.
all the time. I'm like, you should treat your sister at least as well as you treat your friends.
It's constantly to
Yeah.
Isla. That's
Yeah.
all I say to her.
Like she's such a good, sweet friend.
Same.
It's simple. Like treat your sister like one of your friends.
Totally. I say that to Isla. It's like a broken record. And it kind of breaks Georgia's heart, I think. Breaks her heart a little bit. And that breaks my heart because I don't want her to feel that way.
Yeah.
You know, Georgia's just a walking little love ball.
Yeah.
She's sweet and always been so soft and sweet. She's just like Bert. I know you think of Bert as soft and sweet and a little love ball, but he actually is. So
I can see him being that way.
he's very sweet.
Bert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a pain in the ass, but he's very sweet.
That's what we do. We're supposed to be.
Is
pains
that
in the
right?
asses. I think so.
I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
I guess if I think about all the men in my life, my dad, my uncle, my grandparents, grandfathers, they were all kind of pains in the asses. So I guess you're maybe accurate.
It's like having another kid.
It was like having another kid.
Yeah.
So number 4 was a surprise. Number 3 was a
3.
surprise.
3
4.
was a surprise. Yeah. That's a big
She's
surprise.
4.
Wait, what?
That's where the 4 came.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
She's
She was a surprise. Yeah, we really had to try for the first 2, and then and the third one just was a big surprise.
surprise.
Yeah.
Yay.
But we were talking the other day, and it's like, I mean, and this is what a parent would obviously say, but we cannot imagine Annabelle not being in our
Right.
life.
Right.
She's just the
Yeah. And I
funniest
remember-
kid.
Yeah.
And I definitely remember thinking, I wonder if there's another little soul out there for us, kind of thing. And I remember talking to a friend of ours who had 3 and saying, asking what was it like to have 3. And, so I feel like it was meant to be. We call her
Yeah.
our bonus baby.
I can't remember having 2. I mean,
Isn't that funny?
I think it might be easier with 3 because one's always off by themselves, which is
Uh-huh.
great. And then 2 are entertaining one another.
Right.
And that's often the case, I think.
The only, I think, hard part is that they are at 3 really different stages in life.
Yeah.
Middle school, elementary, and preschool. And so they kind of have different interests, which makes a challenge. And then even like watching a movie as a family is a challenge.
Oh, yeah. I
you
would
know?
think.
Mhm. So
Do you always defer to Disney? Guess what? We're watching Frozen
Marvel.
again.
Marvel.
Or Marvel.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the Marvel. Oh, the Marvel.
We watched, Ashley and I watched All Dogs Go to Heaven.
Oh, yeah.
It's like 30 some years old, and it was like, the dogs are gambling. And one character's like, "Hey, you'll run the whorehouse," and I'm like, "What is this? This wasn't that long ago."
I know.
You know?
I know. I got so excited to show the girls Smokey and the Bandit, which I knew had a
Yeah.
little bit, but I didn't remember how
Yeah.
much
Right.
bad stuff
Yeah,
is
the
in that
PGs
movie.
back then are 13s,
Oh,
TV
totally
mature
different.
today.
Talk
are.
about politically incorrect. I mean,
Yes.
every word out of Jackie Gleason's mouth in that movie is
Yes.
politically incorrect.
It's
all
crazy.
improv. That whole movie's an improv, right?
Jackie
And
Gleason.
I kept watching it going, pause.
Yeah.
Now let me explain what he just said. Let's talk
Yeah.
about what just came out of his mouth. That we don't talk like this now.
Mhm.
But isn't this part funny? That's what I kept saying. But you
Right.
just have to focus on this part, like the dynamic between him and his son, who's an idiot.
Yeah,
You have to focus on the storytelling of it. We did the same thing with John Hughes movies.
sure.
Oh, yeah.
Some of John Hughes movies, you're like, that's real date rapey right there.
Right?
Yeah, I don't think that we've gotten to John Hughes.
No, we haven't
Yeah.
done that yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
I think-
great messages.
What's the worst movie we've shown? Well, I guess The Sixth Sense, but that's not.
Yeah.
We showed them that.
Yeah. And we talked about that, but they actually really like that movie.
They
I
do
don't
The
like
Sixth
that
know.
Sense?
movie.
Yeah.
I haven't thought about that movie.
Yeah.
I did not enjoy that movie. I was in the movie theater and went, oh, well, he's dead.
Yeah, all of
Right.
you.
And then everybody kept
Yeah,
going,
You all figured it out.
most amazing movie. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I didn't think it was that great. He was dead. And I guess nobody knew. I guess that was a spoiler. I spoilered in my
Right.
head.
Right.
I spoilered myself.
I don't know if I picked up on it. I just can't remember.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so Tonya had breast cancer. Surprise, also.
Yeah. Annabelle was almost 6 months old. So
Almost 6 months old.
Yeah.
So I have several questions, but one of them is, what do you think was the most important thing in your marriage that helped you in that process? Was it friendship? Was it listening? Was it arguing? What was it?
I don't remember arguing.
I think it was mostly that, he still really gets up with the girls and makes them breakfast and lets me kind of wake up slowly. So I think that was probably a big part of it, was that
I'm up early.
He just picked up with the girls and was able to take care of the girls and do all of that stuff so that I could kind of focus on, surgery and recovery and chemo and trying to feel good. And I mean, the girls definitely were a big part of pulling me through it all. So I didn't spend too much time focusing and laying in bed or whatever. But, just the fact that he was around, I think, was probably a big thing to pick up the slack, for lack of a better word.
Right. Because you're an actor. So you obviously can somewhat make your own schedule, somewhat.
Yeah, I hope that changes one of these. I mean, you know what I mean?
Will.
It's like, God, let's
It
go.
will.
Let's work.
The key to acting is just never quitting.
I know it.
I mean, that's it.
And
At a certain point, you hit
quit.
and you're working all the time.
Don't quit.
You just can't quit. Yep.
Yeah.
And if you have to have a day job, I don't know if you do or don't, but if you have to, have something that you enjoy, so that you can enjoy both. I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do I know? I'm not an actor, but that would be my perspective. Is if I wanted to be like a professional knitter,
right?
I would have to do something else I enjoyed to fund my knitting. So I would imagine acting would be similar because it's such a hard gig to get. I mean, being married to a comic, it took a long time to get to the place where we could just live on Bert. It took a long time. So
acting's weird. It's funny. It's like the other day we were driving and you remember this? This was, I don't know, a month ago, but I said, should I just quit? And you said to me, I don't know. It's like she's like, I think your luck hasn't come yet because the shows that I've been on, like 3 episodes of Basket, some whatever other shows, she's like, other actors seem to have parlayed that into more work. And I don't know why yours hasn't yet.
Right.
And I'm okay. That's okay. It really is. It's like, I still believe that it will come.
Yeah.
I don't know how or when, or maybe it's a connection that I already made.
Right.
I just shot this really weird zombie movie in New Mexico that is either going to be amazing or just no one will see it.
Right.
It'll be that.
Right.
But I think it'll be freaking amazing.
Really?
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
The potential of that. And But it is it's a luck thing. It really is. There's so many talented actors in this town. There really are, and it's like you go to an audition, and there's 20 guys that can do the job.
Yeah,
they're just looking if he's taller than the star in the show, or we really want that character to be a woman, or want that person to be whatever, heavier, whatever.
Yeah.
But your job as an actor, it's like, I have friends that are like, I don't want to go in for this audition because they're just going to offer it to a celebrity.
Right.
And I'm like, I totally understand that. But your job is to go in there and book the room.
That's right.
And get those people in that room to like you and be like, oh shit, let's call Scott in or whomever in for this other part that we're a month from now.
That's right.
If they remember, what I mean?
A lot of it is who you know, not who you know the connection, but who you've met throughout your coming up through the ranks that then also have to go up through the ranks and become someone who can give you a job.
Yes.
So there are a lot of people that this is Bert's philosophy anyway, is everybody has a role. Even if the guy's working the door at the comedy club, he's maybe one day as important as a head of a studio somewhere. So why would you not treat him as if he's already that person?
Absolutely.
Right. And
treat a person like you want to be treated,
like a
obviously.
person. That's
like a person.
Right. And like they have dignity and value.
Yeah.
And people remember people who treat them that way. I think they remember it down the road. They go, he was such a nice guy. Andy was really talented.
And it's so much. I told her this the other. We were talking about our kids arguing. It's so much easier to be nice than to be an asshole.
Oh yeah, I've always said that.
You have got to go out of your way to be a dick.
You do.
Have to.
It's efforted. Yeah, for sure.
It's hard.
It's hard.
Yeah.
So, but what you did, you made a film that's on Amazon called Thanks for Coming In.
Yes.
It's only 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Which is great because when the reason I didn't watch it for a while is because I didn't have an hour and a half.
Right.
I was like, I don't have an hour and a half.
Yeah.
I don't got that.
Yeah.
And then when I finally clicked the link, I was like, I got to watch it before Scott comes because that's like unethical. I can't have him here and not have watched that. So I was like, oh my God, it's only 40 minutes.
It's
I could totally do
39 minutes
that.
and 58 seconds.
Oh my
It's
God.
under
It's
the
40
SAG.
minutes, Scott.
Yeah, it's 40 minutes.
It's 40
I
minutes.
think he advertised it as less than.
Yeah, in
40
the
minutes.
trailer I said, and it's less than 40 minutes. I mean, you could watch it while you're taking a shit. You know,
Watch it on your lunch break.
Sorry, she's
That's the
looking at
thing.
me.
You can't watch a whole movie on your
Right.
lunch break. You
Right.
could watch a 40-minute movie. That was so smart that you made it only 40 minutes, I thought.
Thank you. Yeah,
And
you know
it
what?
was really funny.
Thank you. I had it at an hour and 10 minutes,
yeah.
and it was just so like, God, it's kind of boring. And I just cut.
Yeah. You got to
it-
trim the fat, right?
Yeah, exactly.
There's not much fat in that movie.
no,
not a
thank
lot of
you.
fat.
Yeah.
It's really, really funny. So Scott used to do these spoof audition clips. So you'd put them on
Early auditions.
Facebook or Instagram or
The YouTube. I put them on everything.
on
YouTube.
the YouTube. And I
Twitter.
saw the first one. I think I probably watched it like 8 times in a row. I was laughing
Thanks,
so.
yeah.
It was you and John when you pulled out the gun. That's the first
Yes.
one I saw.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I was dying. I was dying. I ran into Bert and I was like, "You have got to watch." I call you Scott Pete. I don't call
That's
you
fine.
Scott.
A lot
I
of
just
people
call
do. I
You
think.
know what?
Scott
Everybody
Pete.
calls me Scott Pete.
I was like, "You've got
Yeah.
to see this video Scott Pete made.
Right.
Look at this video." And Bert was like, "Scott Pete is so flippin' funny. He is one of
Oh,
the
that's
funniest. You play dumb
Thank
better
you.
than anybody. It's the funny. I mean,
Well,
you're
not
obviously
playing dumb.
not. Yes, you are
Actually
playing
are.
dumb. The dumb you play as that character is just so brilliant.
And that
It's really
the voice
funny.
of the casting director is me.
is you. I know.
So I have it all mapped out in my head.
There were a lot of people though that
voice
didn't know that. Like through the whole thing, they thought that it was
So
a different
as I'm
person.
putting in the voice, I know what he's gonna say,
Yeah.
but then I think of something funnier, and it's so hard. Sometimes I can't stop laughing
It's
at
really
this casting
funny.
director. This guy is crazy.
And
But
the
he's
thing
fun.
you did with Josh was so funny.
Oh, that
Yes.
was the funniest.
Josh
one.
was brilliant.
Yes.
His acting was so good. So I encourage anybody listening to watch it on
Yeah.
your lunch
Yeah.
break.
Yep.
It's
I think
40
if you
minutes.
go to YouTube, if you type in
Just put
my
in your
name,
name.
Scott Pete, it comes up.
And
Is it-
Pete is P-E-A-T.
P-E,
Yeah.
like Pete Moss, the dirt. That's what
I
always
didn't know
tell
that's how you
people
spell Pete Moss.
that. Yeah, dirt.
Isn't there a football player named Pete Moss? Or
No.
am I thinking of somebody
Randy
else?
Moss.
Randy Moss.
I don't
and
know.
And Randy Pete.
Yeah. But yeah, then the mockumentary is called "Thanks for Coming In," and it's on Prime.
Yeah, Amazon
Prime.
Yeah, Prime Video. You're not supposed to say Amazon Prime.
Oh, really?
It's Prime Video.
Oh.
Sorry, Prime
no,
Video.
it's fine. I was like reading all the rules when I was uploading, and it's like, what? But it's Amazon. But
Yeah,
no,
it's awesome.
Prime Video. Yeah.
Prime Video. Oh, and I'm in it.
I
She's in
know.
it.
You're great in it, by
Yeah.
the way. I don't know if you have any acting experience, but you did a
Little bit,
great
but not
job.
much. Yeah, it's funny. People were like, "Oh, it was so realistic." You know, I don't want to give anything away, and I was like, "Have you seen that mustache?"
This thing is crazy. Look how big it is.
Your mustache is
Oh,
really out of
my
control.
God.
Before you shaved over here, I was like, you literally look homeless.
Yeah.
Please shave the cheeks, and then you did. It looks like
You know,
totally
there was
shaved.
there was a time we were at the park once, and this was a few years ago, but my mustache has always been pretty big. But I can't remember who it was. Annabelle maybe was crying, and she says to me, "Take her to the car," and I'm like, "I will look
No,
like
I
I'm
think-
kidnapping her.
right.
I look like."
I think
And
it
I'm
was
at
the
the
opposite.
park.
I think you said that you were going to take her to the car, and I said it'll look like you're
Did
kidnapping
you say
her.
that?
Yeah.
I thought I said it because I'm very aware how I look.
Right.
I'm overly friendly. Like if someone's walking down the street, I'm like, they think I'm racist. I'm like, "Hey, how are you?"
Yeah. Right.
They're like, "Hi, have a great day."
Didn't expect that. Huh.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yes.
Thought you had
The
like a crowbar in your
mustache.
back pocket.
Just be nice.
Just be nice. That's
Yeah.
right.
Like Dalton said in Roadhouse.
So it's like
Be nice.
Paul, the other guy that was at our school that
Oh,
looks
yeah.
like you do similarly.
Zeus, Paul Zeus.
Yeah.
I
Paul
just had
Zeus.
lunch with him yesterday.
Yes. You did what?
Had lunch with him.
You did.
Yeah.
He's so
He's a
sweet.
great guy.
I love
Yeah,
him
he's
so
super
much.
sweet.
But the same thing, he looks like he either is homeless or in a motorcycle gang. You
Yeah.
don't look homeless, but just when you get scruffy over
Right.
here.
Mhm.
But he looks literally
Motorcycle
like
gang
he's in a
for sure.
motorcycle gang
Yeah,
all the
So
time.
I've always seen Paul he's always very nice.
Yes.
But you remember a few years ago when people would park in this neighborhood and the next morning they were just kids that were OD'd on drugs
Yeah.
up the street. And he was yelling at one guy that had like a needle hanging out of his arm. And I walked up, I would think I was walking Mandy or someone, and he was laying into this guy like you wouldn't believe. But the guy deserved it. And I hope that moment turned this person around.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because Paul's like so sweet, but
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm telling that story. No,
I don't know. Paul
Yeah.
used to be our safety valet at our elementary
Yes.
school.
Yeah.
And he would stay. He literally looks like a motorcycle gang guy, and he would throw both arms in the air and go, "Good morning!
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's a beautiful morning.
Living the
It's
dream.
living the dream.
Yep.
I'm living the dream." And you're like, "Oh, what a sweet
Yeah.
guy!
Mhm.
He's so sweet."
I miss having him as the valet.
Yeah.
I miss him. He lived right here. He lived 1 block
Yeah.
from me. I used to
Mhm.
see
Yeah.
him all the time. I miss
Yeah.
him too. I don't know where they moved.
I don't.
But-
I think they're. I don't.
It doesn't
know where they
matter.
moved. Yeah.
Anyway, so back to
Do you edit this to edit?
No,
out
I don't edit anything. No, because the point is I want people to feel like they're sitting in that chair
Mhm.
and just watching us chit chat.
Yes.
So what's funny about my relationship with the two of you is that I've known Scott way longer than I've known you
Mhm.
because you and I worked together at the World Fair.
The World Fair.
The World Fair, which is our big fundraiser at our
Yes.
elementary school. And the minute I met Scott, I was like, that's a good guy. He's a really good guy. And I've always really thought the world of you.
Thank you.
Had no idea who you were married to.
Because I always send him to,
Right?
for all that stuff.
Did you all
You
the
know what's
heavy lifting?
crazy? That first
Exactly.
year I volunteered at the World Fair, I just went. I did too much because now everyone's like, he'll put in 80 hours.
Yes, exactly.
You know.
You can't do that. You can't show
I
your
screwed
hand.
up.
You
I
totally
screwed
do.
up.
You and Chris.
You got to
Yeah.
slow build.
Last
Yes,
year was
I
the
bet, yeah.
least amount I volunteered. I still put in like 22 hours.
Yeah,
Which-
it's a lot.
But it's like if each parent would just give 3
5.
hours, 5 hours. I mean,
Yeah.
3 hours because there's
3, yeah.
literally 80 to 100 people that are the same people.
Yeah, it's the same people that build the fair.
volunteering.
The fair, it's a pretty big production. It takes all day Thursday, all day Friday to build the fair. Saturday's the fair, and it takes all day Sunday to break it down.
I like
It's
the
a lot of
breakdown.
me.
I like Sunday.
You like that? You do?
I don't mind it.
Yeah, I don't
You're
mind
getting
it.
dirty
I
or
didn't
eating
mind any of it. I
donuts.
did all 4 days.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
The whole time I was there. But anyway, back to cancer. So
Mhm.
I really don't think people talk to the opposite person, in
Mhm.
a couple when someone has cancer. And that fascinated me, or I was curious to know what your process was like
Yeah.
when this was happening for Tonya. So it was obviously happening for your whole family, but it was happening for you as a couple, and it was
Man.
happening for you as an individual.
It was hard.
Well,
I-
even the
yeah.
day that I went for the mammogram and the ultrasound, just thinking that I had a fluid-filled cyst in there, not thinking it was any big deal, and driving home thinking, how am I going to tell Scott that I might have cancer? And I was just trying to think of how to do it, and I had to pick up our daughter at the friend's house, and we got home, and I had my daughter go inside, and I was like, I have to talk to you, and so I kind of kept Scott outside, and he thought that our daughter had gotten in trouble at the friend's house, and that I was just
I
wanting to tell him
literally
in
thought
private.
that our friend spanked Ashley, which I was totally cool with because it's Sabrina, and I'm like, Sabrina can parent our
Oh,
kids
yeah,
however the hell she
totally.
wants.
Yeah. Sabrina can do
whatever.
anything. Yeah.
Ashley deserved it. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
But then she told me that.
Well, I was like standing there, like trying to figure out how I was going to word it, and he just is like, just spit it out. And so I did. I said I might have cancer, and then
Were
kinda
you
went
alone?
From there, yeah, we were standing outside the front door.
And what happened to you when you heard that? Like, did you get numb? Did your stomach shake? Did you start crying? What happened?
You're gonna make me cry.
It's okay. I have tissue right here.
Oh, it's good. Yeah, I think I just dropped to the floor. My brother was visiting. We were drinking some beers because when my brother comes out, that's all we ever do. And it was hard,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, I think when we told your brother, I think he said something like, "Oh, well, do you have a will?" It's like,
you have a will. Yeah,
That's
I'll
not
tell you what was.
macabre, but
I'll tell you the hardest part for me, this moment when after her surgery, double mastectomy. I remember I was looking out the window and they were bandaging you up, and I'm saying to myself, I'm not gonna look.
oh, you mean taking it off?
Yes, and
That
then I
was
looked, and I just was like, ah. And then you said to me, "You got to go get the kids from school," and so I left with this. I was out of my mind.
Well,
And I got to
Why
school.
was you just saw all
I
of
just
her
saw all
the extreme
Yeah, I saw.
sutures and
I saw without the bandages for the first time.
right.
And there had been the complications, so they
Yeah.
weren't able to do the reconstruction on this side. So I think he was also concerned about how I was going to react, because
Right.
I expected
But I
to
got
wake
used
up
to it.
and have the expanders in and look relatively normal, but it was totally
Yeah.
flat on that side.
But
so
I went to school to
was-
pick up the girls, and everyone swarms me. How's Tonya? How's Tonya? And I just started bawling.
Oh,
And they're like, "Go, we got your girls. We'll get them."
yeah.
And so I went and
that's-
sat at a bar
Did
for
you?
had 2 pints of beer, just sat there.
Yeah.
And my mom was here too
Yeah.
at that time, so that really helped. So she was able to watch the girls. And
But then I got really good at the drains. She had
Oh, yeah.
drains. I got really good at draining it and pulling the.
there are these little ball
Yeah,
things.
she
that
had to wear
collect,
these
like, the
drains on
blood
both
and the
sides
fluid
for like
and
3
stuff.
weeks.
It's like
Was
an alien
Was
movie.
it 3 weeks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you cleared her
emptied the-
drains?
I emptied the drains, wrote down 30.
Kept tracking my medicine.
kept-
and
30,
stuff
what
like
does that
It
mean?
was like 30
Milliliters or whatever?
or
Yeah.
whatever that would be.
A fluid?
Yeah, because you had to keep track.
Right.
Because it would start at like 90, 85, 80. You wanted to keep getting lower and lower.
Right,
and
right,
lower.
right.
Yeah. Finally, I could just pull those suckers out. That had to be annoying, right?
Actually,
You're like
it's
an
so funny. That's a
octopus.
misconception when you have those things in. People think it's going to hurt when they come out, but actually it feels good
Yeah.
to get them out.
Like a
'Cause it's like a
relief.
tube going through under your skin and stuff. But yeah,
Does not sound comfortable.
yeah, it's like it's like the movie Aliens, or is it no Predator when he has those things coming out?
Oh, yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
It's like those things coming out. But so I think that's, and then that day that I told him, I remember a couple of times he kind of disappeared and I found him like kind of off by himself. So I knew he was like thinking, what are we going to do? What if this happens? What if that happens? And I remember telling him, I'm like, look, this isn't a Disney movie. The mom doesn't die in this story. Cause that
Right.
was like always the thing watching the movies with the girls. Like, why does the mom always die?
Yeah.
Why does the mom always die? And I was like, mom's not dying. So, we're just going to do whatever we have to do and to get through it. And, here we are 4
Yeah.
years later and
Yeah.
we're through it.
You did it.
Mhm.
But during that time, I like to think about what would happen in my marriage if that happened to me, right? I think that I think, and I think people are going to be surprised I think this, but I think actually Bert would become like a warrior
He would.
for me. And
Totally.
is that what happened
Yeah.
to you?
Yeah.
What happened? Did something kick in that you had not?
I don't know if anything kicked in. It's like when you get married,
Yeah.
you get married.
Yeah.
That's it. And we already had 3 kids,
Yeah.
and we've been through so many financial battles. We go through them all the time
Still,
But it's just like, you know what? I'm not in prison.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be worse.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean? It's like we get through it.
And her diagnosis
we-
was not a like
No, I
you
mean,
have 3 months.
yeah.
Right.
I mean, the word cancer that's a hard word.
It's a terrible word.
Yeah, it's a terrible word.
It's a terrible word because it is such a large spectrum.
Yeah.
That word covers so many things. I mean, thyroid cancer for a
Sure.
woman, it is not a hugely life-threatening, incredibly hard experience. It still is not good. No one wants that. But if as a woman you had to choose a cancer, I think thyroid's one of them. You'd say, I'll take that one. But
Yeah.
then there are other ovarian. No,
Oh, right.
Sure.
no. My aunt died of ovarian cancer.
Yeah.
Well, those are the ones that don't have symptoms or don't show signs until it's like almost too late. Those
Yeah.
are the super scary ones,
Those
like
are
the
the scary ones,
ovarian
yeah.
cancer and pancreatic cancer and things
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so scary. So okay. So you went to a bar and drank or
I had
a
2
couple
beers.
pints and
And
just
then yeah.
processed. Right?
Yes.
Your
And then I went and
feelings.
picked up both of my kids because they were at a friend's house. And I drove.
No.
We walked home.
It's
what-
amazing our community, isn't it?
Oh God, it's unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
The meal trains, is that what they call them?
yeah.
I mean, it was so awesome, and people were they stepped up to bat, and they're bringing food.
Right.
I mean, taking our kids home if need be, if I had to run her to an appointment.
And I think
Right.
I told
You know?
someone that I was drinking green juices every day
Yeah.
during chemo. So suddenly I had like people bringing bags and bags of stuff so I could juice.
And her mom
like,
coming
every
out was
day.
giant,
It was
you know.
amazing.
Your mom coming out was huge.
Yeah.
She must have spent probably like 6
6
months,
months.
out of the first year that I was doing all the surgeries and chemo and all of that stuff.
That's amazing.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And then he had his own medical stuff going on,
Yeah.
like right when I was starting chemo. I don't remember what it was called, but
Yeah, it was weird. My main concern was not losing insurance. I wanted to make the money I needed to as an actor to keep our insurance, and I've been able to do that. Where's a piece of wood?
Well, that must have been really stressful too, to
Yeah.
be in this crisis moment in your family, even if it's momentary, and then have to say, I got to keep working so I can maintain.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
I remember the first audition I went to after after
I
this.
think you left for an
I
audition.
left
while
for an
I was in the
audition while you were in the hospital
Yeah.
because
Oh
you
my
told me to
God.
go.
Well, I think
Yeah.
we talked about it before.
So I went into this
I was like,
room.
just go.
And it was a decent guest star, but I went into this room and the guy walks me in, the casting lady's there, and I just stopped. And I just started like tearing up, and I'm like, I can't do this. And they thought I was nervous. And they go, okay, you want to take a few more minutes? I'm like, no. My wife is in the hospital battling breast cancer. The guy, or the girl, she puts her hand on me. She's like, go. And I just left.
Yeah.
And it was just like, I wasn't ready.
Yeah. It was
Yeah.
too much, too soon. It was too soon.
Sorry for being emotional still.
Well, I mean, not that I wanted you to be emotional. That wasn't my point. But my
Yeah.
point is, I wanted some people who are the other spouse or the other partner to
caregiver, I
hear
guess, yeah.
what it's like. I mean, it's
Yeah.
got to be terrifying. I mean, did you stop sleeping? Did you?
Nope.
No,
I
you
sleep
kept
really
sleeping.
well.
You slept fine.
I sleep great.
Well, you're probably an anomaly in that way.
Yeah.
I bet a lot of people lose sleep. But how did you process that anxiety? How did you deal with, or did you have anxiety? What happened for you?
Going to the gym.
Oh God. So I go to the gym all the time.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't look like it, but it's the only thing in my life that I have control over. And I that's what I tell people.
Right.
It really is. So I would go to the gym but then I got injured. I got some kind of weird virus called Parsonage Turner syndrome. That was the original name of it. And I one day at one morning, I couldn't get up. I couldn't stand. I felt like I had a knife in my back. I
had to
could
call
not move my
911,
legs.
actually, because he couldn't get up and I couldn't lift
So
him
she called
up.
the ambulance. And I was so mad because I'm like, that's $900 and some dollars.
Yeah.
I'm like, and these two guys, they came in, these paramedics, they're like, we love your mustache. They loved my mustache. And I was laughing, but at the same time, I was thinking, this is costing money. So they got me to the emergency room in Sherman Oaks Hospital there. And they only gave me some like Advil or something. And then the next day, I couldn't walk. I could not move my legs. It felt like I had a knife in my hips. I couldn't roll. To go to the bathroom, I was like, how am I going to get in that bathroom? And then my dad came out to help, which was great. And then I booked a commercial.
Oh my God.
And I'm on the phone with my agent and I'm like,
Right.
I have to tell you something. They're like, what? I can't walk.
That's crazy.
And they're like, what? Well, you can't just hobble? I'm like,
Or crutches.
I'm on crutches. I can't. So they called and the client was like, well, we'll make his character injured. But I got cut out. I got cut out of the commercial, so whatever. But it was just like
I know that made me a little upset because here he was like having so much pain and he managed to get himself up and get himself there and
a
worked
friend of
all
mine drove
day
me there.
in
Yeah.
pain on crutches and then he got cut out. And I was like,
Yeah.
But you got paid.
Well, I
For
got
the
paid
day.
the session, $600.
Oh yeah, that's I know.
Yeah.
But what were we talking about?
We're talking about your injury and how you
Yeah.
couldn't walk, and
So then it came back 3 months later.
it did.
Not as bad. It was December 27th.
How does one contract this virus?
2% of Americans have it, males.
Like it's in their body already?
I don't know. I just know they said 2%.
Wow.
And I saw
it was
5
part of the
doctors.
stress. I mean, it was right in that time period.
Right.
That
So
I'm
it came
sure-
back a few times.
Yeah.
And the last time it came back was August 30th, 2018, when my cousin Adam, who went and saw Bert,
Oh
thank
yeah,
you
yeah,
for
yeah.
that. He was out. We went to a Dodger game. Then we went to the Hollywood Bowl or something to see LA Philharmonic or however you say the name. But it came back. But it was only here for like 24 hours. So every time it comes back, it's just less.
Less and less.
Yeah, it's very
That's
minute.
really good.
Yeah. So I have loads of prednisone at home. So when and I'll call my doctor and I said, hey, can I get some prednisone? I'm like,
That's the
I'm
only
like, does it
thing really that
expire?
helps.
They're like, it doesn't expire. Just keep it for when it comes back. So I haven't taken prednisone in 4 months because I don't want to.
Right.
But man, that stuff helps.
That's good.
Yeah.
Wowza. So that was going on at the same time that your cancer was going on.
Mhm.
Holy cow. Who was running your house? Were you doing the upper body portion and you were doing the lower body portion?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
No, my mom came out. His dad came out. But yeah, I mean, I remember. I think I just had one of my chemos, and that was happening. So I was,
You know
running
what?
up and down the stairs,
Yeah.
bringing him stuff, and
I'm in constant pain anyways. It's like I can deal with it. With my neck, my back, my knees. It's just like,
Why are you in constant pain?
I don't know. I think it's
arthritis. No,
I have arthritis, but
Oh,
it's
you do?
basketball I played and then
Oh.
I don't know.
So Back to cancer.
Mm-hmm.
What if anything, do you think is different post all this intense?
I think our relationship is amazing.
But it was probably amazing before. So what is different? Is there anything different? Is it just deeper or?
Well, it's funny. I mean, when you get married and they say, in sickness and in health, you're like, yeah. But I mean, literally, like we had the sickness part of it and is, almost as bad as you can get kind of thing. And we just made it work. It just made us, having the 3 kids, you had to be a team.
Yeah.
You had to be a team and nothing would get done. And I mean, I think couples always go through the little trials where you're like, I'm doing everything and you're doing nothing. And then it's like, I'm doing everything and you're doing nothing.
Yeah.
And, neither of us could do nothing.
Right.
There was so much going on.
With a 6-month-old.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Come on. That's just ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. So it was just that neither one of you could just unplug entirely.
Right. Oh, I remember. It's funny talking about cancer and the girls fighting and stuff. I remember. So after the emergency surgery, when I had that hematoma break loose and I had to have my arm in a sling, Ava and Ashley were fighting, and I literally had to physically put myself between the 2 of them and like lean on one so that they wouldn't get up and like try to like attack their sister. And here I am with this sling, and it's just like, life doesn't stop.
Yeah.
Things don't stop. And even as much as you tell your kids, like, you need to be helpful, you need to help me. They're still kids.
Yeah.
And a baby, the baby is the baby. And she doesn't remember me not having hair or, me going like different things associated with cancer and going to doctor's appointments and whatever. She just doesn't remember that. But I mean, life just keeps going.
And then you go to those parent nights where the kids make the artwork and they put on the wall in their classroom, what are you thankful for? And Ashley was like, that my mom's not dead.
Oh my God. That my mom's not
and you
dead.
laugh at it. You
My
have to
mom
laugh
is
at that.
still
It's cute.
alive.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, it's how she processed the world, right?
And then you see the other line that says, what do you worry about? And it says my mom's cancer coming back. And
Wow.
So it's like, and then you're like crying in the middle of the open house.
Right.
I
I could only imagine. I'd be bawling in the middle of the open house with that.
Mm-hmm.
So is there a quality in either this for both of you? Was there a quality you hadn't really paid attention to or noticed in the other person until this happened? Where you go, oh, I didn't really realize she was this strong in this way, or that she was this able to delegate, or I don't know. Those are kind of lame examples. But was there anything you noticed about your partner that you hadn't noticed or appreciated?
Well, I think, I tend to look at my calendar, and if I have a lot of things on the calendar in one day, I just look at it and I get tired and I get stressed and I have anxiety. Whereas he's just like, it's fine. I'll do this and then I'll go there and then I'll do this and then I'll do that. And, it doesn't seem to faze him. So I think that's...
I never knew that you knew that. Because I didn't know that.
So, I mean, I think that's a really good thing, because I know that's something that I get anxiety, but...
Well, I have 3 things today. I have like a guest star audition right after this, but I'm like, whatever. I can't control that. I'll just go in there and do a good job. And then I have a meeting at 1:30 and I'm like,
let's go through your day.
Yeah.
Right? It's work.
And then she'll get the girls and we'll come home and it'll be Pete movie night again, which
Pete
is
movie night.
most Friday nights. That's what we do. We just watch a stinking movie.
But so I think that we balance each other out in that regard. So I know that if I'm getting overwhelmed about something, I can just be like, can you, do this and this so I can go do that and that? And he was like, sure. So I don't know what.
But were you not that way before?
I don't think as much. I definitely have more anxiety just in general than I did before. And I mean, my doctor said it was PTSD, which I think happens a lot after people going through. I think we talked a little bit about this with Bert and what he went through. You go through this big traumatic thing, and as you're going through it, you're just trying to get through it. You're trudging ahead. You got your head down. You're just getting through it. And then when you're done and you lift your head up and you're like, oh my gosh, what just happened? And after that emergency surgery, I just suddenly felt like I was drowning, like I was on a sinking ship. And so, I mean, I've definitely gotten better as time goes by. I think the more time goes by and you get to live like a regular life and not think about cancer so much.
Yeah.
Like I had my checkups this week. I had one yesterday or was it yesterday or 2 days ago with
Yesterday.
my oncologist, and then the week before with my surgical oncologist. So every 6 months I see one of them, and every year I see the other one. But they fell within like a week of each other this time, and so it's been on my mind a lot this week.
Right.
But for the most part, you get further and further away from it, and you think back like, 4 years ago I had no hair, and now I have long hair and that kind of thing. But so yeah, I think that's just a matter of time going by, and
yeah.
But I think that it still sticks with you in a little bit of a way, and I think the anxiety is probably part of that. So calming myself down and not getting stressed out, or looking at my calendar and taking things one thing at a time.
Right.
Or not looking at the whole week and just taking it the one day at a time.
Right.
But that's something different for some reason, that anxiety, like I'm a little bit more prone to anxiety now than I used to be, I think.
Before.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting? I mean, your life was threatened.
Yeah. And that's actually what our pastor at church said too, when I was talking to him about it a little bit, was that a lot of people don't have to face their mortality like I did.
Yeah.
And so like when some like life things happen, it just affects you in a little bit different way. You worry more about things. I think some people go the opposite direction, and they're just like, second chance, life is good, I'm going to have as much fun as I can.
Right.
But I think there are other people that maybe, like me, that you tend to be a little bit like, oh, this could happen at any time.
Right.
It could come back at any time. And
Right.
what are we going to do if it comes back? And you try not to think about that stuff, but.
Yeah, but I'm sure subconsciously it's got to be there. I mean, how could you not? How would you not think, or at least thank God I got out of that. How or why me? I mean, Bert and I talk a lot about survivor's remorse. Not that you have survivor's remorse, but I think there's part of that in some people where they go, well, why did I make it and all these other people didn't or don't?
Oh, for sure. I mean, I'll tell my story to somebody and they'll be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe what you went through. But then I'll hear someone else's cancer story and I'm like, oh my gosh, they went through like what they went through was so much worse than what I went through. Why am I, so there definitely is it's still that, even when you're talking to another cancer survivor.
Right. Yeah. Comes with baggage. I guess cancer comes with a lot of baggage. Did it leave you with any baggage? She has a little more anxiety. Do you have any baggage like that?
I don't know if it's baggage. I just really want to be able to. The girls are like, oh, we'd love to have a house. You know what I mean?
Annabelle keeps asking, when are we?
Yeah.
gonna get
So
our
it's like,
house?
I want to be.
Wants a house
Do,
with a
do you
yard.
not live in a house?
Well, we have an apartment, but it's like,
Oh,
I
okay.
want to become an adult. You know what I mean?
I understand.
It's
Yes.
like, enough of this. I mean, we could go be adults in Michigan or Washington,
Yes.
but then what the hell are we going to do?
Yeah.
You know?
Well,
but I don't know if there's baggage. I don't know. That's a good question, and I don't have an answer.
Well, I can tell you this: living through what you've lived through, I deem you an adult.
Okay.
That's pretty freaking
enough.
adult. That's really adult to be able to persevere through something as life-threatening and terrifying as that with 3 kids and come out the other side a stronger couple. I think that's a huge adult accomplishment. And a house is just a house. I mean, I know the kids want a house, and that's valid.
I just want to be able to yell at them to go out in the yard.
Go
Yeah.
outside.
Oh,
Go
I hear you.
outside.
We were in an apartment until Isla was 4, and I said to Bert, "If I don't get this kid a yard, I'm going to kill her. I'm going to throw her off the balcony. I need to be able to turn her out in the yard and close the door
Right.
Right.
and know that she's not going to die.
Yeah.
But she needed a place. So I completely understand what you mean,
Yeah.
and I know what you mean about the feeling adult too.
Yeah.
We were.
I'm
I
just
mean,
sort of halfway joking in a way, you know.
but
Yeah.
I know what you mean. It
Yeah.
is a feeling that you
But
have.
you know what? Our girls are very happy,
Yeah.
you know, and that's all that matters.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
Because we're not here long.
They don't have their own rooms, but I think, I mean, Ava might want her own room if we lived in the house, but Ashley, I don't think would want her
Ashley
own
and
room.
Annabelle would just be roommates.
Oh, Isla did not want to. When we moved into this house, it was a 2-bedroom, 1 bath, and then we added a master, so they could have their own bedrooms. And Isla was like, "Yeah, let's turn the other room into like a playroom, and Georgia stays in here with me." And Georgia was like, "No way," because she's a teenager, right, at the time. And Yeah, it was a big deal. Isla was not okay. And I think seriously to this day, she would prefer to share a room with her sister. Even though, like I said before, she acts like she doesn't need or want her sister. That is one way I think she really did like falling asleep with her at night. That was her way of connecting with Georgia. Yeah. So
we have some friends who moved into like a bigger house so that their kids could each have their own room because they have 3 kids also.
Yeah.
And I found out not long ago that even though the one has their own room, they still go and sleep in the bunk bed with the other 2 because the 2 are in the room together and the others had their own room and the one still sneaks in and the 3 are all still sleeping in the same room.
It's so funny. Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
It's so cute.
Technically, we have like a 6-bedroom place because Ashley will sleep in the bathroom. She'll sleep in the kitchen.
Annabelle sleeps
Seriously,
with us.
just last week she slept in the bathroom, and the night before, a few nights before, she slept in the kitchen. And I'm cool with it.
Well, why did she do that?
I set up a
Feeling
blanket.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, but there's
She wanted to
times
be
where she
closer
wants
to the
that
bathroom.
adventure. That's Ashley. She wants to, sleep in the kitchen or under
Why
the
not?
table. Or there's times where I'll set up the tent
Yeah.
and they'll sleep in the tent.
Yeah.
Kids do
You
that.
know,
That's
I guess
super
that's
fun.
normal. That's fun. Yeah, that's
It's
normal.
completely normal.
Camping in
Yeah.
the living room.
We used to do that too.
Yeah.
I have camping cots and we'll just go couch, cot, couch,
Yeah.
and then a cot on the other end so I can sleep like 5 kids all in one room. We did that not long ago.
Yeah.
It's super fun. It's really fun to do
I
that.
feel like I was reading an article, like, because I read the news at night on my phone, and I was reading an article recently that, like, I think it is common in other countries for families to, like, just all sleep in one room. Like, to
yeah,
have
Yeah.
it is. Yeah.
different
think you're
beds,
right.
sleeping in one room, and then I also read an article recently that talked about like, it's healthy for kids to sleep with their parents until they're like 3 or 4 or something like
She
that.
wrote
'cause
that
it's,
article.
Like, bonding. We've been trying to get Annabelle to sleep in her own bed, but she just won't. And so when I saw it, I was just like, okay.
Okay. I'm justified.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Although, she sleeps between us and kicks me all night.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I am not that girl. I'm sorry. I'm a mean mama.
Are
I
you?
just went, yeah, I need some time to myself. I love you kids, but you will be sleeping in your own bed. Isla would
Yeah.
still be sleeping with me at 13 if I would let her. She would still. And if George is out on a play date, not a play date, at a sleepover, Isla will show up at my door. So,
Yeah.
sleepover, Mom? And I'm like, okay. So
Yeah,
she'll
yeah,
come
yeah.
get into bed with me. It's her favorite thing. So
That's
I
cute.
couldn't do it though. I'm an only child. I need my
Yes.
own
Your
space.
space.
And when Bert leaves, I go, oh,
Yeah.
I have like a day in my house with nobody.
Yeah.
I have a few too many animals at the moment. I'd like to kind of maybe.
You have rabbits. I saw you had a fence in your
No,
front
that's
yard.
not a
It was a
rabbit. It's for my
squirrel.
chickens.
Oh, I
There's
don't
a
know.
squirrel in
You have
there
chickens.
a second
Yeah.
ago inside the cage.
I
Okay.
know the chickens are the chicken has a roommate,
A
Cool.
squirrel
a
roommate.
squirrel roommate who is shoplifting their food.
Ah,
He's kind of a jerk. They also have a few rats that come in and steal.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Also, and I can't get rid of the rats. I
yeah,
mean,
they're everywhere.
they're everywhere. It's the
city
orange
is
tree
crazy.
too.
Yeah.
I'll never get rid of them.
Yeah.
Any advice for any couple that may be embarking upon?
Upon this journey that she
Yeah.
went through, I'll let her talk about that.
Oh, no.
that
I
the
mean,
two of you went
yeah.
through.
Oh,
And because it was your journey too. That's my
yeah,
point.
yeah.
'Cause it was a journey for you. You had to have a ton of feelings about it. And I know to me, when Bert's going through something, and we've never been through anything even remotely like this, but if he has the flu, I feel really bad for him. And I want to help him very much. And there's this other part of me where I go, oh, could I just have 5 seconds? I just need 5 seconds, please. And then I'll be right back. So I had those feelings that aren't always, the Christian way you're supposed to think.
Oh, for sure.
you know?
when he used to play basketball. When he would come home early from basketball, I'd be like, he hurt his back. Now he's going to be like useless for the rest of the weekend.
Right? But that's what I mean. I'd like to hear about that stuff too, because I think regular couples and regular people feel those things and think maybe they're the only ones, or maybe that's really wrong. When I think it's part of the human experience to be imposed upon when your loved one is in a serious situation. I mean, like 2% of your brain feels imposed upon, where the 98 is like, I'm happy to be here.
No, I remember after, I think it was after one of my surgeries and my mom was getting ready to leave. And I remember you said something about like you had a Screen Actors Guild meeting that you were going to, and I thought he was joking because I still couldn't lift up Annabelle because I had surgery, and I couldn't put her in her bed. I couldn't lift her in and out of her bed. And he was like, no, I have this meeting I have to go to. And I don't know if he just didn't realize that I was still at that point where I really still couldn't do lift the baby kind of thing. Or if he had gotten to the point that it was a year later and we'd been going through all this stuff and it had disrupted everything, that he was like, it's time to get back to normal life now. Even though I wasn't ready, I think he was ready. Like,
Do you remember that?
I don't, but it's probably true.
So I think I just had Annabelle like sleeping on our bed until he got home and could put her into the crib or whatever.
Right.
But I just was like, I guess he just is ready to be over it.
Right.
I don't think I was ready to be over it. I just think I had a meeting.
Well, did you ever feel like that? I mean, did you ever
Like
have
what? That I'm
feelings of
over it?
like,
No,
no, never?
That's
pretty awesome.
never.
That's
Nope.
pretty awesome.
I mean, because it was a full year,
right.
Yeah.
It's a long time. And then when you are first diagnosed and they tell you, it'll be about a year of surgeries and treatments and whatever, and you're like, oh, that seems so long. But then it just
She
happened.
drinks more wine now,
Oh, I do, yeah.
You drink more wine now?
which is awesome.
That's good.
That's a compliment.
I don't think that's a having kids thing.
Oh my
I don't know if
God.
that's
You know what's
a
funny
getting
is
through
I'll-
cancer thing.
Yeah. I'll wake up and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to have any beer or bourbon today. And then the kids just start arguing. I'm like, all right, bourbon is less fat.
Bourbon's for breakfast. Perfect.
It's like every night. Like I think I just had 2 bourbons last night and then that was it.
That's
Because these
proof.
kids, we love them.
I know. Oh, my
But
kids
man.
are fighting so hardcore over the bathroom.
Oh,
I
yeah.
need a bathroom. No, but I'm in the bathroom. Go to the other bathroom. But my stuff's in this bathroom. And I'm like, oh my God.
Right.
Come on. We had
Yeah.
one bathroom for
Right?
your entire life.
Yeah.
And now suddenly you share a bathroom with only one other person. We used to call our bathroom the town hall.
Right.
Because all 4 of us would be in there at the same time.
Yeah.
And now 2 of them can't share one.
Right. They have their own bathroom, but we still they still come in our bathroom to brush their teeth.
And
I'm
shower.
And shower. I'm like, you
Why?
have your own
I don't know.
bathroom.
They got a bathroom, man. It's awesome.
Kids are
Right?
so annoying. We should just give
Jeez.
them all away. I mean, what's the point, really? They're just and money suckers and
Constant.
constant nag.
Yep.
For
Ava-
what?
Ava talks really quiet, and the other day I was like asking, I was
Terrible.
like, "What?" And she said it again, and I was like, "What?" And she got
she's
really
like, "Never
upset with
mind."
me. Never mind. And I'm like,
And she storms off. I'm like,
Right.
I cannot hear you.
I have
And
the same problem.
yeah. And I told her, I said, someday I'm going to be old, and I really won't be able to hear you. So just get used to it.
My kids are terrible at that. And I'll go, I'm not defiantly asking you what. I can't hear you. So you're going to have to either come in the room with me and talk to me
Yeah.
or increase your volume.
Right.
Come on.
And then, yeah. Annabelle says, what? And so they put tubes in her ears to drain them.
Yeah.
And we're like, she can't hear. Well, now she's going to be able to hear amazingly. She still says what all the time.
I think it's a habit
But it's
now.
cute. Her what is so cute. But it's just like, I'm like, then I'll test her. I'm like, can you not hear me? And she looks at me. I'm like, I'm going to say a letter. And I'll say D. I'll say it really soft. I'm like, what did I say? D. You can hear
You're
me.
fine. It's a processing problem.
Yeah, or it's just a
takes her
habit.
minute to process.
It's a habit of saying what. People say what all the time, but they know what you said.
What gives you a minute too?
Yeah.
It gives you a minute.
Yes. Yeah.
It gives you a minute to think about,
That's
to
true.
process it, to say, oh, what are they talking about? Oh, got it.
Yeah.
So no negatives for you in the cancer experience.
I mean, the whole thing's a negative, I guess, but I mean, we were never a negative.
That's
it-
Together.
amazing.
Is it because I won't let you buy the peanut butter with the high fructose corn syrup in it?
Oh, yeah.
that a
I'm a
negative?
horrible shopper. I'm a horrible shopper.
Did you now? Who did the shopping when she had cancer?
I mean, we've always shared it, but I mean,
He goes more than
I go a lot because I can go a lot, and we need milk all
on
the
his way to
freaking
or
time.
from, different
Yeah,
things.
so it's like milk is like just
Hot
it's like
commodity.
they just dump it out.
I
But I
know.
Drink it.
Yeah, but I think that's been one thing, trying to readjust, like learning. I mean, like, beauty counter and the chemicals and things, and not letting him buy certain things. And
Yeah.
I mean, we've had to make shifts. in
Do I
that.
have a negative? I'm sure there's a negative there.
But what?
What's the negative for me? What did I
Well,
screw up?
I mean, I just think you didn't screw it. That's
No.
not what.
No,
not what
I
mean.
know that,
I mean,
but I
like,
want to know. I want notes.
How you managed your emotion. Well, you already told me you went to the gym.
Yeah.
And how.
And I'm an emotional person.
Yeah.
You know, I will just cry.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Were you emotional in this time
I don't
period?
think I was ever emotional outwardly.
Yeah.
Is that the word?
Yeah. Publicly, sort of.
But that one time when everyone approached me and asked how you were, that's when I lost it.
You just had that was your breaking point.
Yeah,
sort
it was
of.
like literally, I was like, I don't know, it was like a horde of zombies coming upon me. And it was real.
Well,
You know?
we do live in a great community, and everybody really, truly, genuinely cares about each other, and
Yes.
that is overwhelming to have that much care from people you just met. I mean, really,
Exactly.
you know them 3-4 months, 6 months,
Yeah.
2 years, and they all kind of have a similar or almost same level of true concern. It's really special.
It
our
really
our
is.
neighborhood. It's a gift,
Oh yeah.
and
And
that's great.
I think that's one of my biggest pieces of advice to people that are diagnosed and early on. It's like, let people help you.
Right.
Because I think a lot of people like retreat to like their cave. And I think the biggest piece of advice, I'm like, if someone offers
Yeah.
you help, let them help
Well,
you.
we had one gal, Sarah, who offered to do all of our laundry. And you said no. She's like, I'm not taking no as an answer. I'm doing it. She did our
Wow.
laundry for literally 6 months. I'm like, how do you do this? She's like, I enjoy doing laundry. And she actually enjoyed doing laundry. They would come back
That
folded
was
in
just
ways I've never
something
seen.
we didn't have to
I've-
think about.
I mean,
Yeah.
it was crazy. I'm like, wow, she folds like she works at Gap.
Like origami.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yeah, I mean,
beautiful.
she literally was like, leave it in the basket on the porch on Friday. I'll pick it up and I'll bring it back to you on
Yeah.
Sunday. And
That's
Crazy.
amazing.
Yeah. And I mean, I knew that was actually like the aha moment for me was when she emailed me offering that. And I had just been at the hospital from like 7 a.m. until 5 p.m, going through all my appointments and pre-surgical things and tests
Yeah.
and whatever. And so I picked up the phone and I was looking at my email and I read that from her and I was like, "Ugh, no, she doesn't have to do that." And I realized I was too tired to write the email back. And
Yeah.
that was kind of the aha moment that I had, that I was like, if I'm too tired to even say no, that means I need to say yes.
Yeah.
Well, I remember Julie, my friend
That's
Julie
really
Mitchell.
a great way of looking at that. If I'm too tired to say no, then I need to say yes.
Yes.
Wow.
My friend Julie offered to do a GoFundMe.
Uh-huh.
And I said, nope, absolutely not.
Yeah.
And then she did it behind my back
Oh,
a couple months later. And thank God she did it.
yeah.
I mean,
It saved
It
us.
saved us.
But everyone
Yeah.
rallied around.
That's amazing.
yeah. I mean, it's
So what were the biggest tools, I guess, during that time, the most important things? It was community, the meal train, your parents came out. Anything else you could think of? Working out maybe kept you
I don't know. that's
centered
just
or
a-
sane or
Well, I remember one thing that really helped, and I don't remember even who suggested this to me, but this was a lifesaver, was people made donations to Molly Maids for us.
Oh, yeah.
We had a Molly Maids account.
Wow,
and
that was awesome.
And so
Forgot.
we were able to have, because I couldn't clean, I couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
After each surgery, I had 6 weeks that I couldn't lift anything.
oh my gosh.
And so, so that was one of those things that it didn't even occur to me that that was something that we needed until someone offered it and we started utilizing it. And that was a lifesaver. So there is an organization that will give you, I think, 4 cleaning sessions if you're diagnosed with cancer. Cleaning for a cause.
Cleaning
Yeah.
for a cause.
So cleaning for a
Okay.
cause is something everyone should look into when you're diagnosed, because
Yeah.
that's just another thing that's, if they can take something off your shoulders,
Right.
They'd
then
have
that's
3
great.
people there cleaning it. It was like you're walking into a hotel room
Wow.
after. It
And
was
they were only
amazing.
there for like 90 minutes. It
Yeah.
wasn't like someone was in your house all day long. They
Right.
came in, they did it, and they left. And then,
That was a good
so
one.
that
I
was
forgot about
actually a
that.
really good thing. So there's the meal trains, but also I don't think people really realize they can do that. That
No.
you have, like, the Molly Maids does it. You can just, people can donate to the account, and then you have the certain amount of money in the account. And yeah.
That's amazing. I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, that's because I didn't think about that. Who would clean my house?
Sure.
Oh my God, my house would be a disaster.
3 kids too.
And our place is pretty clean. We both tackle that pretty well.
The
I'm
type,
the only tackler in
You're the
my
tackler?
house. I'm the only one. So if I was out of commission, we'd be condemned. It would be like a hoarder's house in here. Rats would move out of the chicken coop
In there.
into my house because of my slobs I live with.
Yeah. I do the organizing. Scott, well, it'll get to the point with the kids' toys that he just like goes and grabs a garbage bag and starts throwing things in the bag. And then there's like crying and, screaming and
Throw
my
'em
toys,
away.
my toys. And I think right now we have a garbage bag full of the dollhouse furniture in the back of the van. And I keep telling him, don't throw it away. Don't,
Yeah.
It's like, okay, it's fine that, they
know what's
wouldn't keep
funny?
it organized. So he took it out, but funny.
Every night, the sink has to be. Dishes can't be in the sink. I've
Yeah.
always been that way. I always
Yeah.
have to wipe the counters, and I'm just weird.
Could you
You
hang
know?
out with Bert a little bit? Maybe rub
love to hang out
elbows
with
with him
Bert.
a little bit. and
Yeah,
get him
let's
in.
do it.
He makes lunch and it looks like the refrigerator just vomited.
Funny.
Floor, countertop, everywhere. And
I'll
he
get
does
down
not
and I'll
clean
look
a
at the
thing up.
counter
Yeah.
and I see all the
You
crumbs.
do not.
I
do
do
you really?
too.
Oh my
Of course I
God.
do. I'll say to Ava, "Did you clean up?" And I'm like, "You did not clean." Because those crumbs, we're gonna get ants.
I eyeball that counter.
Yeah, I see it.
Liar, liar.
Drives me bananas.
Anything else you want to say? Any advice to give a couple?
Laugh,
Laugh.
laugh.
It's good advice. What did you do to laugh during this process?
We watched a lot of stuff. We watched Bert's special on Netflix.
Did you?
Yeah, it's freaking awesome.
I think I told you about we were watching the commercial and he gave away about Santa
oh yes,
Claus.
the Santa Claus.
Oh, that's
That was
right.
funny,
I
yeah.
forgot about that. Yeah.
No,
yeah.
I mean, just
Jesus' brother. So dumb. He actually told that story to my kids in front of me
funny.
to explain who Santa Claus was. And I was like, this is the most ridiculous story I've ever heard. And he as soon as he finished, he was like, I got to go write that down. It's a bit. He went and wrote it down and then put it on stage. I was like, but I have to clean up the mess you just made with our kids.
Exactly. That's so
That they
funny.
think Santa Claus is really Jesus' brother.
That's pretty funny.
Laugh. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ain't that the truth for just about anything, though? Financial problems, laugh. Health problems, laugh.
Laugh.
Levity is the biggest healer on the planet. Even trauma from your childhood. You have to find some way to be at peace with it enough to laugh. Not laugh
Yeah.
at it, but just laugh your way through it.
Lead with your heart.
Lead with your heart. That's a good
You
one.
know.
Because I would imagine if you lead with your heart, then you're not in your head and angry or upset or resentful or pissed off that I got to drive back to the hospital one more time or whatever. What might happen for people who've been in this
Yeah.
situation? I know it's got to be.
That hospital parking was $12 a pop.
Oh my God. It's 14 now, I think.
Oh geez.
Yeah. It's so
I mean, it was like
expensive.
I'm parking on the street. So I got to the point where I drop her off and I'd zip around. I'm like, there's a spot.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I remember when we were
Yeah.
doing our taxes that next year, and I thought for sure that we were going to have enough medical expenses and parking expenses that we would get it as a write-off, but we still didn't. It was insane.
Why?
who knows? I don't
Because
know.
we didn't reach. I guess I don't remember what the minimum is, but we were like just below it or something. So, like I don't know how many times I went to that hotel for appointments, but it was like
Hotel.
$12. Did I say hotel?
You
Said
did.
hotel.
I was like, what
hospital.
hotel?
Crazy.
Hospital.
Yeah.
Felt like a hotel. No. Hospital. But yeah, the medical expenses were crazy, and we still
UCLA
didn't-
was great. The hospital,
Yeah.
they were amazing.
That's
Mhm.
good.
I mean, that was great. Doctors are awesome.
That's good.
But yeah, I think the biggest advice would be just to let people help you.
Let
Yeah.
people help you and to laugh and to lead with your heart.
Mhm.
Those are great pieces of advice, I
Mhm.
think.
Mhm.
Hopefully, no couple will ever have to go through anything like this, although we all know that's a ridiculous thing to hope for. But if anybody is, maybe they'll learn a little something from what we talked about, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have my website that I try to keep some resources on.
What is it?
Hope Moves Mountains.
Hope Moves Mountains.
Yeah, I have my
Okay.
beauty counter link. I have my Mommies with Cancer group link. I have a women's networking group link. And I'm not sure what else, but I try to keep those kind of updated. Oh, the woman that did my 3D nipple tattoo.
Yeah.
I have her link on there because she.
I keep
she's
forgetting
a
that's
breast-
not real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
She must have done a really good job.
It's crazy.
It was amazing. I didn't want to do it, and my reconstructive surgeon wanted me to do it, and I was like, no, I don't need to do it. It's my Barbie boob, whatever. But as soon as I did it. And this one friend, you know, she's a breast cancer survivor, and that's why she decided to learn to do this so she could help other women. She did it for me, and immediately it changed my mental. I didn't notice it. I didn't think about cancer getting dressed anymore. I just got dressed.
Wow.
So it was a big deal. And
That
so
is
I
a
have,
big deal.
Yeah. So I have her link on there as like a resource. So yeah, I in my email, they can always email me if they have any questions or, you know, just want someone to listen.
That's so kind
She's
of
a good
you.
listener.
She's a good person.
Yes.
I actually like her better than you, Scott.
That's
Now.
fine. I do too.
I've known you
As
longer.
do I.
Yeah.
I didn't meet you until I went to Sam Fisher's Beauty County party. I didn't know you had cancer. I didn't know any of this was going on. I was never close enough to Scott to have known that. Our kids aren't the same age. There was no reason for me really to have known, but I really had no idea any of this was happening for you. I knew you were ill because of I saw
whatever.
you on crutches at drop off, but I didn't know that you were dealing with this in your house also. I had no idea because
Yeah.
I would never have recognized you as Scott's wife because I'd never seen you. I mean, I'd never seen you together. I didn't meet
Scott's
you together.
not married.
I knew you were
He knows
married.
everybody at school too. It amazes
knows
me.
I'm trying
Everybody.
to slowly.
I'm like, I'm the one that helps in class
away
like
from
every
that.
week.
Yeah.
And everyone will say hi to him and not know who I am.
It's because you don't have a mustache. You need a mustache,
Yeah.
Tonya. You need, or maybe a mohawk or
I
something.
had one of those for briefly
I
when
know,
I was
right?
shaving my head. I had her give me a mohawk.
You
and I have
did?
a picture of me in a mohawk.
That's really cool. That's really cool. We should post that on your website.
Okay, I will.
A picture of your mohawk. That's
That
really
was a cool
awesome.
Mohawk.
What's
That
that?
was a cool mohawk. I like that.
It was a cool mohawk.
Yeah.
Was it a faux hawk or was it a full like?
We didn't
spike-
stick
you
it
didn't
straight
spike it
up,
up,
so
yeah.
it was. But
But your hair got really curly, didn't it?
It did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember seeing you.
You looked funny.
was
and
crazy.
I remember seeing you and your
She's
hair
like a
being
Brady,
really
one of the
short.
Brady Bunch kids.
And I thought to myself, I wonder if she is recovering from cancer, but I didn't know who you were. I didn't know you were Scott's wife. And I didn't know you, so I wouldn't have talked to you and said, hey,
Do you have cancer?
did you have cancer? Your hair is really curly. Anyway, thank you for talking about this. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Sure.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it was fun. I really it's healthy to talk.
It's so healthy. I think that is something. I'm glad you said that because I think that is something that's really important. I know you've mentioned talking to your pastor. You can talk. There are so many different people who would be willing to listen. Talk about asking for help. That's another place you could ask for help is I need someone to just let me vent. Just let me vent and listen to all the good, the bad, the ugly and have no opinion, no offerings of help, nothing but compassion and openness to accepting whatever it is you have to say. I would imagine that would have been really
sure.
helpful.
Yeah, yeah. I went to the cancer counselor, like for a little bit, and it was funny because whenever I would have the appointment coming up, I would think, "Oh, I have nothing to talk about. Nothing's really going on," and then I would get in there and I'd talk nonstop for like an hour.
I'm that way. I've been in
have to,
therapy forever, and she's in Pasadena, and I always drive there going, "Why do I keep going?"
Right?
I mean, I've clearly worked on everything.
You know, I've never done therapy. We've never gone to marriage counseling, and we've gone through some patches, of course. And we've had people say to us, "You should go."
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe one day we should, but this is therapy. Being here,
This is therapeutic.
It is.
I don't know if it's
Therapeutic,
therapy,
yeah.
but it's therapeutic for
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
To talk about things and to talk about things. For me, I think my purpose, my goal for the podcast is for people to feel like they're in here having the conversation with us. And the other one is to learn something, right? And to have, if I'm learning something, then I feel like the people listening are learning something. So I want to learn something every time I'm in here.
Even if it's just Eco Egg laundry detergent balls. Right?
Exactly. Okay. We said we were going to talk about that. You bought an Eco Egg?
I did. Yeah.
What do you
Jenna
think?
sold me on it. I haven't used it yet because I'm trying to use the rest of my laundry detergent that I have before I start. Have you started using it?
Yes. Ooh, light bulb just went out.
Bulb out.
Bulb out. Yes, I love it. I bought the Eco
Okay.
Egg laundry detergent and the Eco Egg dryer
Okay.
eggs.
Oh, the dryer one. We didn't get the dryer one.
The dryer eggs, I have one complaint about the dryer eggs. They have a little insert that's like fabric softener type, like what you would use like a bounce dryer sheet or something. And they smell awesome, but they're like silicone-y.
Okay.
So they get trapped in the clothes. And sometimes I can't find them.
Yes.
So like if I'm doing, massive loads of laundry one after the other, I have to like go through every item of clothing to find the egg. That's my one complaint.
Okay.
And you have 2 of them for the dryer.
Okay.
So usually I'll find one and I'll be like, damn it. Where's that other stupid egg? One was like inside a sleeve. You just can't find them. And they're smaller. Like the laundry egg is kind of bigger.
Mm-hmm.
These are probably, they're smaller than my fist. So they're a little bit harder to find. That's my one complaint. But I actually really like it. All my clothes is coming out really clean. I kept my laundry for like heavy duty. I
Like
don't
the detergent,
completely
you mean,
in
like
my
the
detergent.
liquid?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, I said laundry. But like we have a puppy. Puppy thinks a rug is a pee-pee pad.
Oh, yeah.
So like bath rugs, I do with like old school laundry detergent. So I kept my big jug and I'm just kind of slowly
So maybe that's what
eking it out.
Yeah, maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe I should just save a little of what we have and then do the egg for a while and see.
The egg's awesome. It's really great.
I like the idea. What is it, like 700 loads of laundry or something?
750.
To last through. Yeah,
That's a lot.
750.
What if you did
so-
751? I wonder what would happen. I'm like, who tested this?
Who did?
I mean, because there's some.
Are you sure
spreadsheets
750
on it.
exactly?
Exactly.
And are they using hot water?
Yes.
Or cold
Hot water?
water?
Would at least run 3 of them.
Yeah, right.
I don't know.
Totally.
Mhm.
Well, the little pellets inside, they come
Oh,
with like
they release
ceramic
them?
pellets,
Oh,
and it's
okay.
slow over time.
Yeah,
I haven't
yeah,
even
yeah.
looked at it yet.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
I like it. If you are a person, we don't use scented detergent because we have sensitive skin people in my house. So it doesn't matter to me. But I was talking to my sister-in-law about it. She was like, yeah, but I like the scent of my detergent.
Mm.
And it's not, there's no
I
scent.
don't think we do scented.
I think lavender, but that's
Yeah,
about
you can put lavender in it. Yeah.
Free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put it in your little,
Mhm.
at the
Yeah.
top. You can drip it in.
Mhm.
But yeah, that was the reason she didn't buy it, is because she was
Oh.
losing her laundry scent, which is clearly more important than
that's
saving the
funny.
planet.
Yeah.
Well, but it's probably the fragrance. It's probably something that's not healthy for her too. that
Probably
she's-
not.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that. Look at that clean product. Well,
yeah.
you'll have to let me know what you think about it.
Okay.
We'll podcast again.
Okay.
Maybe
Sounds
we'll
good.
invite Scott back. I don't know.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. I was surprised when you wanted to talk to me too. That was nice of you.
You are actually, I think, the first couple I've had on
Oh,
as
cool.
a couple.
Oh, nice.
And I was just thinking, it would be interesting to have other couples on that have, because my impression of your relationship is that it's very healthy and that you're really happy and you're happily married. And I think that there are kind of key points to that. I think you have to have a similar value system, and you have to really want the best for your partner and really want to facilitate the best for your partner. And there's certain qualities that you have as a good couple. And I think that would be something interesting to talk about, to see what each individual couple has in that little bag of tricks. What are the values that you share and what are the ones you don't? And, where do you part ways in parenting or whatever? And where are you the same? And how does that work? Because we are so lucky again in this neighborhood. We are surrounded by a lot of seemingly really happily married couples. Obviously there are some who are not, but all of our friends are really happily married. And we have like 6 or 8 couples that don't have any kind of real marital issues, which is super lucky.
I think so too. Yeah. I know. I know the divorce rate is supposedly like pretty high, but we don't really know that many people, I think, that have gotten divorced.
No, nor do we. And so we must all collectively be doing something right. So what is that? So today I was like, oh, this is my first couple. Maybe I'll start asking like one couple every month or so to come and talk about their marriage, not the dirty laundry of it necessarily, unless they just want to. But I don't like gossipy shit anyway. I just want to know what makes things work.
Well, I remember, and I've told other people this when they find out we've been married for 18 years, and they're like, oh my gosh, that's like forever, especially in LA.
Yeah.
But I remember hearing Gwyneth Paltrow talk about like her parents were married for like 50 some years, and I think your parents have been married for 50 some years,
53?
and same with my parents and stuff.
52.
But they asked her, they were like, what's the secret? How, how were they married for so long? And I think her mom said, we never wanted to get divorced at the same time. And I just remember thinking that was so funny. But I mean, I could totally see it being like the secret because, you know, he might get irritated with me and I might get irritated with him. But
I think we talked about divorce one time.
Yeah.
It was in
I think it was around the 7-year mark or something like that.
The itchy year.
And I remember saying, like, if you can see yourself being happier with somebody else, then that's what we need. Then we need to talk.
But you know what's funny though?
What?
Now we tell our kids to mess with them. I'm so keeping my language clean. We will say to Ava and Ashley, we'll sit them down. We're dead serious. We're like, where do you want to live? One of you's going to Washington with mommy, and the other one's going to Michigan with dad. Pick. And then
choose now.
Ashley will lose her shit, and Annabelle doesn't know what's going on. You know,
you haven't pulled that one over on.
It's
him
been
in
a couple
long
months.
time.
No, it's only been a couple
Longer
months,
than that, I
but it's
think.
funny. But we're such a good acting duo.
Yeah.
Because we're all in on this
You
joke.
don't stop fighting, then one of you is moving to Washington
Yeah.
with me, and the other one's staying here because you obviously can't be together.
Oh, that's so funny. We threatened to send
Threaten
our
them.
kids to boarding school once.
Oh, yeah.
Funny.
We plotted together because they'd been fighting so much. And we were like, here's what we're going to do. It was such a bad parenting move. We went in, they were in their top bunks of their bunk beds. They had 2 bunk beds and they had both in the top bunk. And we're like, we've exhausted all efforts as parents. We really don't know where to go from here.
Yeah.
So we feel that we just don't know what we're doing. So this is like 10 o'clock at night. Bert's like, I just got off the phone with a boarding school, like he did at 10 o'clock at night. And they have 2 beds, but we have to have you there by Monday. So enjoy this last weekend home because we just really don't know what to do. And Georgia's face, she went like full white and bawling. And Isla was just like, what? What's a boarding school?
Yeah.
We're explaining to her what that means. We'll come see you on the weekends. It's up in Ojai, you know, because there's a boarding school in Ojai. And
In case they decided to research it and see if you were
Right.
like,
exactly,
telling the
because there's
truth.
one in Ojai.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we really sold it. I mean, sold it big time.
It's good for the
And
kids.
I think it may have scarred Georgia
Oh, that's
for
funny.
life.
That's funny though.
It's not a great parenting moment,
No,
I
it's good.
don't think.
Yeah.
But yeah, the fighting stopped for a little bit,
Oh, that's good.
you know, but whatever.
Yeah, I know.
Well, thanks for talking about this. I appreciate it.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much for coming. So maybe we'll come back again and just talk about marriage.
Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for coming
Thanks for coming in. Watch it. Amazon.
Video.
No.
Prime
Prime
Video.
Video.
I just
Prime
go to
Video.
Amazon
And
to see.
what was the name of your website?
Hope Moves Mountains.
Hope Moves Mountains.
Yep.
And thanks for coming in. Check them both out. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.